What is up, Cleveland Browns fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Timm here with the Cleveland Browns Daily Blitz. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the program. Appreciate everybody tuning into FanStream Sports at fanstreamsports.com, the FanStream Sports mobile app for iOS and Android, as well as FanStream Sports TV, our YouTube channel. Make sure you head over there and subscribe. Check out all the great college content, all the great Browns and NFL content for you over there. It is Browns. It is Bengals week, boys and girls, as Joe Burrow, Bengals quarterback, hopes to roll into Cleveland this week and get his very first win ever inside what is now Huntington Bank Field, as he has not had a lot of luck there. As a matter of fact, there is not one player on the Bengals roster that has ever won a game as a member of the Bengals inside Huntington Bank Field. Head coach Zach Taylor. Sorry, I had to think of his name for a second. Browns head coach Zach Taylor is 0-5 in Cleveland. And it's a strange situation because Joe Burrow, look at all of his accomplishments. Won a Heisman Trophy. He's got wins over Patrick Mahomes. He has a trip to the Super Bowl. Of course, he has a massive contract. But what he doesn't have is a win in Cleveland. It's the little things, right? If you're a Browns fan, there's not a lot you can anchor onto right now. So we'll anchor onto that for just a second. But, you know, the Browns are struggling. The Bengals are struggling. They're two teams that are at the bottom of the AFC North, chasing both Pittsburgh and Baltimore, really chasing Baltimore. I mean, Pittsburgh, unless Russell Wilson comes in Sunday and lights things up, Pittsburgh's going to Pittsburgh. So it's really chasing Baltimore. And with a win over Cleveland Sunday, Bengals will be one step closer. Baltimore has Tampa Bay. So Pittsburgh has the Jets. So really a chance here for Cincinnati, but really a chance for Cleveland more than anything else to avoid a 1-6 start. And Burrow talked about the winless situation in Cleveland. He said the winless ways there on the lake, on the shores of Lake Erie, I'm trying to paraphrase this quote here, are a sore spot for him and his teammates. So it's something they think about. It's certainly something they're aware of. Again, that Joe Burrow has never won at Cleveland Stadium, now Huntington Bank Field. Zach Taylor is 0-5, the coach. And the Bengals don't have a player on their roster who has ever won a game at Huntington Bank Field. It's crazy. But the Bengals are trying to work their way back, of course, from another slow start, which has been their pattern the past 3 years. In 2023, they opened the season 1-3. They finished 9-8, missed the playoffs. In 2022, the Bengals opened 2-3 before they finally turned it around to get to their second straight AFC title game that they lost. Clearly, Burrow has not been the problem, though. He's completed a career-best 71.6% of his passes this year, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His 110.3 quarterback rating leads the league. So Burrow is not the problem. What is the problem? It's going to sound familiar to a lot of Browns fans because the Bengals have been plagued by offensive line issues. They've lost 2 games on the final play, and it's taken a minute for things to gel for both sides. Things sound very familiar for the Browns, right? Cleveland's had its own issues, starting with an offense that has yet to score 20 points, has yet to produce a 300-yard game. Quarterback Deshaun Watson's erratic play is certainly a major factor in all of that, but the Browns' problems can't just be pinned to Watson or one side of the ball because they're ridiculously widespread. Kevin Stefanski has resisted playing backup Jameis Winston because he feels that Watson still gives the Browns the best chance to win. But every time they lose and the manner with which they lose makes it harder for, I think, Stefanski to justify that decision. It's impossible for him to continue that with another loss. Watson hasn't thrown for 200 yards yet in a game. It doesn't help that he's been sacked a league-high 31 times. Cleveland is 30th in scoring at just 15.8 points a game. 32nd out of 32 teams in yards, 240.2. 32nd in first downs with just 15. And 32nd in third down conversion rate at just 19.2%. Penalties have been a problem. Last week, driving for a potential game-tying touchdown in the fourth quarter at Philly, the Browns committed consecutive false starts and had to settle for a field goal, which did them absolutely no good whatsoever. Watson thinks that a turnaround is possible. He said, quote, "Every week we have encouragement. We have flashes of things like that. It just comes down to the self-inflicted things that we keep speaking on each and every week. We've got to continue to find ways not to shoot ourselves in the foot," end quote. Deshaun, I would tell you that a lot of that shooting yourselves in the foot starts with you and your interceptions and your fumbles and your erratic play and your poor decision-making. Is it all your fault? Nope. Are you a big part of it? Yep. So it is what it is. The Browns will be playing, of course, without former number one wide receiver Amari Cooper, who is off to Buffalo. He hadn't been playing up to his standards anyway here in Cleveland. He's the only player to record consecutive 1,000-yard seasons in club history, but the team refused to offer him an extension on his contract this summer, so he was unhappy. Even though Cooper's gone, I don't know that a fire sale here is imminent, but if the Browns don't start winning, general manager Andrew Berry could have some more decisions to make on some personnel, whether they want to stay here or not. The good news? Nick Chubb is back, baby. Nick Chubb will make his debut on Sunday after being sidelined since week 2 last season with that gruesome, devastating knee injury at Pittsburgh. It's the second time Chubb has had to overcome major reconstruction after getting hurt on the same knee back in 2015 while at Georgia. Certainly his return to the field, his return to practice has energized teammates. They're inspired by his recovery, by his rehab. They've watched him go through it now. So big deal for Nick Chubb to return. Hopefully Nick Chubb can spark the offense a little bit and give the Browns a little something as they try to keep Burrow and all of the Bengals players and Zach Taylor, the coach, winless in Cleveland on the shores of Lake Erie at Huntington Bank Field. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm IndyCar Tim. Find me on Threads and X at IndyCar Tim. Would love to talk some Browns football or NFL football with you. Just reach out to me there. If you're watching the video, please leave a great comment here under the video on our FanStream Sports TV YouTube channel. I would love to converse with you there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get notifications for all of our great NFL, Browns, college, AFC North, all of our content. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We will come back to talk post-game Browns-Bengals on Sunday. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.